Nancy Pelosi she actually tweeted out a photo of herself with the Taiwan delegation that greeted her. They sent that to we must always stand and support democracy. She's issuing some or her people are through her social media channels issuing some pretty strong statements, stronger than what this current administration has been showing and saying. But why now? It is interesting. Why? Because I think it's about her legacy. I mean, why now? She would be, since 1997 with Newt Gingrich, the most senior U.S. official to visit Taiwan. And when Newt Gingrich went, China was in a very different position, both militarily and economically. And there was a piece over at New York Times which was saying that Jake Sullivan, who I don't trust, and Joe Biden were meeting with top Chinese leaders begging Beijing to not enter the conflict in Ukraine by giving any kind of assistance to Russia. And I just feel like there's two different agendas that are rubbing up against each other here. And I say this as I saw another piece on a report that was also mentioned in the New York Times that says that it discusses how Pelosi's timing to go to Taiwan, one of the reasons why it's so inconvenient for the administration is because Jake Sullivan and Joe Biden have been working overtime to keep China from entering the Ukraine conflict by giving aid to Russia. I don't know what I think about that. That kind of seems to me a little bit like a dodge. And I just don't know why we have to take that only into consideration. And why is it, now here's the other thing, because the left has also, because she's outgoing speaker, when Republicans take over the House, as they are predicted to by Cook Political, Sabato, Crystal Ball, everything, 538, she will not be speaker again. It's not going to happen again. So this is her swan song. This is it. She's thinking of what's next and, her legacy. So this is how I've been viewing this. I feel as though I don't think it was Pelosi that leaked her visit out to Taiwan. I think it was the White House. I think the White House did it as a way to undermine her. I do think that there has been a little clashing of ego. Remember, Pelosi never really was a Biden person. Biden has his own camp. The Obamas have had their own camp. Pelosi worked with the Obamas way better than she worked with Biden. And she doesn't really have you ever seen her have a relationship with Kamala Harris? No. It's weird, isn't it? I think that she has her own interest and Biden has his own interest. And in the Pacific, Nancy Pelosi's interest, yes, you could say that the semiconductor chip bill, if you wanted to view, I realize that there's some people on the left that have been talking about that. I think it's a perfectly legitimate point to make. And that means that for, business-wise, she's, of course, going to be Team Taiwan. But Joe Biden and his family's business with China puts him squarely in camp with Beijing. So why is it that the left can point? Because I actually have seen some people on the left point this out. They're like, oh, Nancy Pelosi's dragging us into a war. Look at this. I think it's hyperbole. But why is it that they can talk about her? I think it's fascinating that they can talk about it now. And they're only doing it because she's not going to be speaker again. She's going to be out of office after this. It's done. She's too old at this point, and she's losing too much popularity with the increasing socialist base of the Democrat Party. It's just not going to happen. This is a legacy visit. I think it's probably a business visit. And if the left can sit here and point out her business interests, why then are they still so protective of Biden's interests with Hunter? Is it because they're trying to use that still as a cudgel against him running again? I don't know. There's a million things. There's a million things here. But I just think it's interesting. There's two agendas that are rubbing up against each other.